everybody. Welcome back to Gaming Resets podcast number 34. This is your host, Mitch.
And this is Mike.
I almost forgot my name there for a second. I don't know how many times I've done that. Anyway, so lots of news this week. Lots of news on this end. I know there's plenty of news on your end as well. So let's go ahead and start with you. What's been going on, Mike? Tried to get some retro gaming in, and I didn't get a lot of it in. Played some Dick Tracy on the Master System. Going to have a video of that going up shortly. The website went gangbusters when Mike wrote a Destiny article, so that was awesome. So we'll have him on for a part 2. I bought a white PlayStation 4 to go along with the white Xbox One that I have. I saw the pictures up on Twitter earlier today. So go as far as modern consoles go. Like, give me an overview. What do you have now?
Well, I lost track. I have them all. I have everything. I mean, there's 3.
You have like 2 of everything now,
except the Wii U. So yeah, I mean, I got since I have the kind of the recording set up and the games and retro stuff downstairs, and I didn't want to be bringing systems back and forth. I know first world problems, right? I went out and picked up second systems for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So that will be nice to have down here, and then and it looks cool, which was kind of half the reason I got it. And then
it looked crazy. Like, seriously, I saw that picture on like both the white Xbox and the white PlayStation. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, they look pretty sweet. And then
they look like they belong in like a bathroom or something.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be a bad spot. With how my stomach's been feeling, maybe I should put one. Maybe I should put one in the bathroom.
You probably should. Been spending plenty of time in there.
I don't know what hit me. I've got bad guts these last couple days. And then what else? I played a shitload of Destiny, and that's kind of been the week. I keep meaning to get back to playing some other games to talk about them, but I've just been playing Destiny. I went out. I actually bought a Cytec X55 flight stick and throttle that I opened, and I did an unboxing video with every intent of doing a demo of it. And I haven't got that posted either because I haven't done a ton of gaming this last week. So everything's kind of sitting there firing up for a busy week. This week. So so that's where we're at. Yeah, I mean, just picked up a bunch of stuff and didn't get a ton of gaming in other than some Destiny and some Dick Tracy on the Master System. So hopefully this week that will all change and we'll have a bunch more content to post out there. But yeah, that was my week in a nutshell.
Right on. Well, I had a pretty busy week. You know, as far as the Master System stuff, we always touch on that. I was kind of thinking the other day, I was like, what's the only game that I have that I totally would have wanted to have as a kid? For the Master System, of course, Wonder Boy 3. Why don't I own that yet? So I went ahead and ordered a copy of it. It took the guy like forever to send it to me, but I finally got it. So literally before this podcast, I was playing that for about 2-3 hours because
it's good.
What's that?
It's good.
It's fantastic, and I forgot like the progression because the progression in Wonder Boy 3, you start out as, of course, Wonder Boy, and like almost immediately when you start the game, you turn into the dragon.
The dragon, right.
Do the dragon level, and then you turn into a mouse. He looks basically exactly like Mickey Mouse. Well, not exactly, but then you have the Aquaman. I am on the Aquaman level. But eventually you get a lion, and then you have like a hawk, and I don't know, it's awesome. It's kind of one of those as I'm playing it, I'm like, I seriously can't tell. Is it just the nostalgic factor that makes it my number one game of all time, or is it really that good? I don't know.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it a lot of the Master System stuff doesn't get a fair shake when it comes to greatest games, and I think for a couple reasons too is the fact that a lot of people haven't played these, and it's like Wonder Boy 3 is phenomenal. I mean, it's one of those games that it's not like, oh, it's good, for a Master System game, it's good. It's like, no, it's legitimately like one of the best games ever made.
I agree. So anyway, I was playing that, but I've got plenty more
better news to talk about.
Yeah, let's just jump right in. Well, should we segue with the phone call, or do you want to just kind of say what you ran out and bought this week, because it's pretty freaking sweet?
Yeah, well, one of the things is we've been talking about. One of the things we've been talking about lately is of course, Mike's Oculus Rift. I'm extremely jealous of his purchase, of course. And to get to that point, I really need to do a lot of things. I need to get a decent PC, like a good PC, like a good, just completely build an awesome gaming PC, which I did not have or do not have, just did not have. And then I have to purchase the Oculus Rift. So anyway, I have had a bunch of extra money burning a hole in my pocket this week. So I was like, all right, Mike, I got the money. What do I get? Because Mike's like, back in the day, I was a computer guy. I could, tell you everything you needed to know about like building a system back then. But that's been a few years for me. So I'm like, all right, Mike, what's good? And of course, Mike's like, here's a list of stuff you have to get. So I marched on over to Micro Center with my list in tow and just bought everything at once, really.
Yeah,
for the most part.
And you had that. It was one of those things too. There was the graphics card issue of like, well, what's good enough for the Oculus, and then it was like, well, this is technically good enough with the GTX 760, and then it was like, but they have an open box of the 970, which is fucking amazing. And that's what you grabbed, which was like one of the best decisions ever.
Well, because, literally yesterday, I think it was, or was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I was like, all right, well, I'm probably going to go out and pick up the, what was the 760?
Yeah, the 760 they had.
And, it was a couple $100, but then, of course, you pointed out that they had the 960 or the 970. The 970 on sale or as an open box. And I kind of did the math, and there was like a $55 or $60 difference between a new 760 and an open box 970. So I was like, that it's just like, come on, really?
It's a no-brainer at that point, because the 970 is an amazing card for the money.
There's no way I was like itching to spend that money on that, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get it. Screw it.
Yeah, now you've got it all.
Now I've got everything, and I went ahead yesterday as well, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I spent all the rest of this money. I'm on a roll right now, so I went ahead and ordered an Oculus.
Why not, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to take several weeks anyways. I think the wait time right now is 1 to 2 weeks, so... Which is
pretty quick for the Oculus, so they must have them stocked,
I mean,
so
you had to wait
nice.
an entire month. Yours was 4 to 6, right?
Yeah, mine was actually 6 to 8, and I actually got it on the 6-week mark.
Oh God, I can't imagine. So I'm super stoked now. That's my big news. Obviously, I just spent a bunch of money this week, but I do have an awesome gaming PC right now, and I'm totally looking forward to doing some gaming on there. Mike, of course, to celebrate, sent me Tomb Raider and a couple other games last night for the PC, so I can really just fire it up and kind of experience it. And Tomb Raider is amazing. It looks just amazing on this setup.
Tomb Raider was one of my favorite games. I played it first on PlayStation 3, and then it remastered and came out on PlayStation 4. And I hate kind of the remastered stuff, but I ended up rebuying it on PlayStation 4 just to see the upgraded graphics, but then it's still, I mean, when you have a nice PC and you're running that game on there, I mean, it looks freaking ridiculous.
It really does. So that was kind of my aha moment, and I'm like, money well spent at that point. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and then
I'm totally stoked about it.
Yeah, actually, and I sent you over Friday night, Five Nights at Freddy's. I did play some of that today, and we'll get to this a little more once we start talking about your Oculus purchase, but it's essentially a horror game with like jump scares, and the jump scares don't work on me anymore in games that aren't in the Oculus. I've been desensitized to horror games after playing Affected on the Oculus, so now it's just like, this shit ain't scary. you know, just because it's like I'm like, oh, I'm playing this on a screen rather than like in my Oculus, and so yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I did play that for a couple minutes twice, and I really didn't get very far in it. So we're gonna have to talk about that one next week, I guess. I don't quite get it yet because you're kind of sitting in front of a screen at like a Chuck E. Cheese like place or something, and you get this call from this guy that says, "Yeah, the animatronic people like they move around or whatever because they're on autopilot or something, and they could kill you or something." So that's about as far as I've gotten. I've gotten to essentially
did you get to where you can like you open up the monitors and you can switch between the cameras and stuff?
Yeah, I've gotten to that point. Essentially, where I'm at on that is, you know, I'm like in the intro credits. Essentially, I've not gotten very far.
Yeah,
I
was playing with my headphones on, and I didn't actually get past the first night because I haven't quite figured out the mechanics of how to play it yet. I literally played it for about 15 minutes today, and then fired up the master system. But yeah, I'm gonna play. It looks interesting, so I'm gonna play more of it. But it
does look interesting, and it does look creepy as hell. Like I did notice at one point because you're looking at these video screens. Like you can click through maybe like 8 video cameras that are like live in the game or whatever.
That game needs Oculus support because that would be fucking amazing in the Oculus. But it would be nice if it was like had all of the monitors up for you, so you could like it was actually like you're in that shitty creepy room, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, basically, as far as I've gotten, is I've noticed one of the animatronic guys is gone on like camera 1, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty creepy.
Did you find him on the other camera?
I think he was like right in the camera or something.
Oh yeah. So that's where I got. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, I ended up dying. But so I haven't.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I ended up dying. I haven't figured out how to keep the cameras charged. Like, because it loses charge, and I think you're supposed to keep the cameras charged up on it. But I haven't quite figured out. We're a little late to the party on the Five Nights at Freddy's because I think there's 2 of them now, and PewDiePie, one of the bigger YouTubers, he's done a lot of horror games, and so he did that. But that's where I first saw it, and I was like, cool, I'm in the horror kick. Let's check this out. So today was the first time I actually had some time to play it. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've already started playing Tomb Raider. I've been playing that one the most, but I don't know. I'm just enjoying the setup right now. And again, a couple weeks, a couple podcasts from now, I'll have my own Oculus Rift. I've already been Mike sent. Basically, you sent me that website with all the all the games that support Oculus Rift quote unquote or whatever, and all the native support games and all that stuff. So I've really been checking through there. There are a lot of like ones that really intrigued me. There's one in particular that was like asteroids. Essentially, you're in the ship from asteroids, and all the graphics look like they're in like a black and white vector monitor graphics as well. So stuff like that look cool. Some space shooters.
Your first like week with that thing is just going to be fucking awesome because you're just going to be like, I'm going to download all of these and just in and out just to see like what experience is what. And it's so good. I'm so excited because I'm just like, I cannot fucking wait for you to get this thing just so I can be like, check this out. Just like, I'm fucking like, I'm getting excited again right now because I'm just like, I just want you to have it so I can be like, dude, did you try the such and such? Did you try the such and such?
And I'll be like, I am in the process of trying everything.
You're
right
like,
now.
I did, and it was freaking amazing.
I can't wait. That's going to be so much fun. So then I can do videos with that as well with the Oculus Rift, and I got to give you I got to give you props for sure on doing your own reaction on some of those horror videos that you've done.
Yeah. That affected game is fucking terrifying. It's funny because Mike, who writes for the site, he was over a few weeks ago and played through one of the levels that I didn't play through, and unfortunately, I had the broadcasting software. I had it on preview screen, so I actually thought it was recording, but I fucking forgot to hit record.
Oh no!
But his reaction was so bad. He threw the controller
And, like, when it jumped, oh, my God, I was losing it. Like, he threw the controller, the Oculus popped off of his head, he was just looking at me. It was literally like he screamed, throws the controller, Oculus off, and he just was like, what the fuck, dude?
That's awesome.
And it was like,
And that was from Affected?
Yeah, it was from Affected, and then I went and I oh, my God, I was losing it. And then I like anything, I'm like, we gotta rewatch that. And then I looked at the computer and I was like, fuck.
Oh no.
And I lost it. And it's just you just can't have that reaction again the second time through. I mean, I've played it multiple times and was scared shitless every time because your brain still gets tricked, but it was just that first response. Oh, I just wish I still had it.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to try to do the same thing when I get mine as well. So so big news as far as that. We'll come back to that as well. A little just smaller thing I was going to hit on that's actually not a small thing. That's a pretty big thing that's been going on for me this week as well. I finally got my Tron fired up. It's damn near done. It's beautiful. It's ridiculous. It's seriously, it's mind blowing. I wish I could take pictures of it and like show you how awesome it is, but it's amazing. And you know, especially with all the money I had spent on the gaming PC and the Oculus Rift and all that stuff, and with all the money you've spent this week as well. I mean, you bought another PlayStation 4, right?
Yes. Yep.
It's just one of those things where it's like we spend a lot of money every year on gaming total, and you know, we spend them in different ways most of the time. You know, I spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on arcade stuff every single year, and you spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on console stuff every year. So, but the Tron, beautiful. I mean, I spent close to $1,000.
Well, and that's one of those games too, where it's like that fucking thing is probably like the coolest looking arcade machine ever.
It's got to be in the top 5. And you know, the funny thing was that I kept saying, probably for the last like 4 podcasts, the game sucks. The game sucks. The game is actually really fun, and I forgot how much I like the game. So it's you know, I've played better games, but the game has been holding my attention. I've been going down there and playing it for a couple hours every single day. I'm actually getting a little decent at it, but you know, it's done. I promise you, I've been saying this a lot of times about a lot of different things. I'm going to get a video of, I'm going to get my part 2. I have my part 1 of the restoration up on the site right now this week. I promise you have my word. I will have part 2 up there.
Cool.
So,
can't wait to see it. I saw the picture. You sent me the picture, and I was like, that looks fucking sweet.
And the picture is like 25% of the experience, you know? It's not even close, because when you get in there, like, it's got this shroud that goes around like the monitor, and in the, you know, it's got artwork on it and so on, but then it's got this clear plexi in the back, and then it's got this translite behind that, so it's like really it's 3D. I mean, it totally is 3D. Like, I know it's weird saying it's 3D in real life, but the effect is completely 3D. Like, you're looking, the monitors, when you look down, you have the monitor. When you look behind, like up and straight back, you have like the clear plexi with the translate in the background, which is it's just amazing. I don't even know how to describe it. Look for the video this week. That's all I can say. So
right on.
Anyway, yeah, a little long-winded on that, but lots of happenings this week, and I'm excited. I can at least join the PC gaming side of the conversation here, and the Oculus Rift. I personally can experience this myself. The only thing I have left to buy on that is I want to buy the steering wheel, the shifter, and the pedals. At the very least, I want to eventually get the racing seat.
That's a must. I actually played a little. I did do that this week a little bit. I did play some more Assetto Corsa or Assetto Corsa. I can't talk tonight on with the Oculus on, and I didn't do any recording just because like half the time when I'm recording, I end up spending more time fucking around with my recording stuff than actually gaming. So I just kind of turned it on and played it, and I was like, God, this is just so much fun.
So what are your favorite games on it so far? Or, I mean, what are your favorite things with the Oculus Rift?
I mean, it's got to be. I mean, that game, the Assetto Corsa, Assetto Corsa. God, I don't know why I keep throwing that R in there. So I have that for racing, and I have iRacing. But Assetto looks better, and I find myself having more fun with the driving. Granted, I still have to order a new pedal set and a shifter. I know with what I have set up now, it's not a big deal because a lot of these cars have paddle shifters, and the wheel I have has paddle shifters. But that game is just fucking flat out fun. And then, I got the flight stick so I could play Elite Dangerous, or Dangerous Elite, whatever the hell it is, which is a kind of a space flight sim. And not really a flight sim, but just a space battle type game. So I meant to play it this week, didn't get around to that. But I'm sure that's going to be amazing because everything I've read about it is awesome. But I mean, still with the Oculus for me, it's not like I still haven't had this like I'm going to just game for 4 hours in it. It's just like I'm still in the I want to experience everything I haven't ever experienced yet. So I mean, that's from like I'm going to use the virtual movie theater. I'm going to do the roller coasters. I'm going to do the skydiving. I'm going to do the, I installed the GameCube Dolphin emulator and was like fired up Wind Waker with the Oculus. All sorts of stuff like that. And it's just constantly like in those sites I sent you, Rift enabled, and then Oculus has a share site on their end. It's just like I'd log in there and just like, what's new this week? And there's always new stuff, and it's like, that looks fucking cool. I'm going to try that. There's a demo that essentially just like walks you through the history of evolution, and you're just kind of along for the ride. Like there's a demo where it's just like, hey, you're going to be in space, and we're going to fly you around, and you can look at all the planets and get information about the planets. Just all sorts of stuff. I'm just like, I can't get enough of all of the cool shit that it offers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait to get mine. So I'm stoked, man.
Yeah, it's everything I've been talking about, and you just can't experience it. And that's kind of the tough part on these podcasts is unless you have one or have used one, it's hard to kind of have that.
It's hard to like articulate what you're experiencing or like convey what you're experiencing because it's so hard to imagine that like, because apparently it literally tricks your brain into, I don't know, supposedly. I mean, I have experienced, the only time I've checked out Oculus Rift was when it was on a choppy laptop that couldn't really handle it. So it was still amazing, but it's not as amazing as it's going to be on mine.
No, it's just one of those things. And actually, there is rumors that Oculus is trying to launch 2015. I don't see it happening, and kind of for the reason that there's just no formal support for it yet. So I think they still have to lock it down and get it consumer ready. But once we get there and once that gets into everybody's hands, and plus it takes a huge PC to kind of run it. But once they get a consumer product in people's hands, I think people are going to be blown away by it. So
yeah. Can't wait. So I can't wait just a couple more weeks and I'll have it. I mean, there's no telling right now exactly when, but I can't wait, man. I'm like a kid at Christmas that has to wait for an undetermined amount of time. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back after this.
Constellations inverting the night in the alley's own cultured starlight. Misjudged, civilized, show all their love but telling lies. Living, breathing, needing all the cast they intertwine.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Mitch and Mike here for GamingReset.com's podcast number 34. Anyway, one thing we haven't done in a while. We haven't listened to phone calls. We literally haven't checked our voicemail for a while. And it turns out we got a voicemail from our old friend Big Lou. So, Mike, you got that thing queued up?
Yeah, I did have it queued up, and then it disappeared on me here. So let me grab that.
Well, things have a strange way of
There it is.
disappearing every once in a while, right when you need them.
Yeah,
All right.
there we go. Got it. So let's play his voicemail. It's about a minute and a half.
Hey guys, Big Louie from Loop 2 Retro here. Sorry I haven't called in a while. You know, I got a new phone over, I want to say Thanksgiving, and then life kind of got hectic over the holidays, and I've noticed that your podcast wasn't in my new phone, and I could not figure out where it went to, and I didn't realize at the same time, it seems you guys changed the title of your podcast, so that's why it didn't pop up, and, I kind of in a new regime of, making sure I go out and socially hit all those places that I normally listen to. So here I am. I found you guys after a little bit of research. So anyway, the topic I wanted to bring up was, the James Buster Douglas boxing that you guys have talked about before. I've been reading the book Console Wars. It actually talks a lot about that, initial contract they had with Sega. And I didn't realize kind of the differences between the Genesis and the Master System versions of those games. It talks a little bit about that, and I also, looked at the Wikipedia article about that. So it's quite an interesting story. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that more in the future, or just, hey, tell people to go buy Console Wars and read about it, because it's a great book so far. But anyway, that's it, and I'm glad I found your show again, and I can't wait to hear the episodes I missed. Thanks, guys.
So there's Big Lou checking in. First, I just wanted to touch on the change. Yeah, I apologize that I've actually gotten a couple people that have tweeted me that said that their feed didn't auto update in their player, and it should have. And I'm not quite sure why it didn't for you. So I apologize for that. But thanks for the call, Big Lou, the winner of the Master System. So checking in. So that's pretty awesome. But do you want to hit on the Buster Douglas, since we're now both owners of the rare Buster Douglas for Master System?
Yeah, and there's a couple things. Honestly, you came up with a couple good points. One that you just already addressed, which was the switching over from Retro Game Fix. And again, the reason we did that was because Mike is a wealth of knowledge in modern gaming and retro as well. So we it's just our way of combining everything. We're not just a retro podcast. We're not just a modern podcast. We're
a gaming podcast, and so that's we didn't. It was tough because we had the two sites before, the Retro Game Fix and the Modern Game Fix, and it was just a bear to try to advertise and market and get traffic for both. So
yeah. So anyway, the other thing is one thing we've talked about on this podcast a lot was the book Console Wars.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was great, and you know what? I'm going to try to do it justice, Big Lou. I honestly I can't. I didn't go out and grab my. I didn't have enough time to go out and grab my copy and reference it as well. But thank you for bringing that topic up. So I'll kind of wing it and do my best to kind of address the question about the differences between the two as well. I think what they had said, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, I might be wrong, and I apologize if I am, but again, it's been like 6 months since I've read the book. But I believe Sega had originally, after James Buster Douglas had knocked out Mike Tyson, he was the first guy to knock him out for the most part. And of course, Punch-Out was a big hit on the Nintendo, and Sega was, running their, we do what Nintendo don't.
Yeah.
Campaigns and so on. So of course they had the idea, James Buster Douglas one-upped Mike Tyson. We're going to one-up Nintendo. Let's go ahead and take a working title or a title that we already have in progress, which I have no idea what the game was originally supposed to be titled, but they went ahead and rebranded it as James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing, and the rest is history as far as that goes. Now, as far as the Master System port went, and I say port is in quote, it's in quotes, it's not actually a port. It was originally, I think it was originally Final Blow, and I'm actually searching it as I say this now. I think it was originally the game Final Blow that was just, again, rebranded as James Buster Douglas. So there is a big difference. They're completely different games. the Master System version is terrible, but man, it's great to own one. Whereas the Genesis is very common, but it's a much better game. And to kind of poke fun at themselves later on, because by the time the actual game had been released or was scheduled to have been released, James Buster Douglas showed up to his next match, I guess just physically completely out of shape, and just got his ass whooped. So, of course, for Sega, great idea in the beginning, but it didn't quite pan out for him. So, they jokingly like ribbed themselves and put it under the classics section. It's a Sega Genesis classic, and so on. So that's what I remember is from that. I really, again, we appreciate you bringing that up. It's a fun story to tell. We told it a couple times, here and there. But yeah, there is definitely a difference between the Master System and the Genesis version. They're completely different games. So, anything to add to that, Mike?
No, I mean, I can't stress enough how bad the Master System version actually is. It's freaking terrible.
I tried playing it I really gave it a shot, and it was one of those things where, seriously, I felt like I was just kicking ass, and the matches are long, and it's as opposed to Punch-Out, where you have almost like a third-person view of Little Mac. I mean, how would you describe that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a third person behind me,
Yeah, you're just standing behind.
Kind of a shoulder view kind of thing.
Anybody that's listening to this podcast knows exactly what it is.
Has played, Tyson, I'm sure.
But whereas James Buster Douglas, at least for the Master System, is I guess just a 2D side.
Yeah.
You see the sides of both guys. It looks kind of good. It looks good, though. Wouldn't you say? I mean, it looks okay.
I mean, as far as Master System games go, yeah. I mean, I think it looks really good for what relative speaking, to 8-bit. Yeah, it looks fine.
It looks good. It looks good, but the gameplay is just horrid. The controls are terrible. I mean, I kind of got to the point where I was like, man, I felt like, specifically the last match that I played of James Buster Douglas, I felt like I really kind of got the hang of it, and like the rhythm. I mean, the rhythm isn't as apparent as it is, in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It has nothing to do with that. But I kind of got the hang of it, just beating the crap out of the guy, go through 3 rounds here, and then all of a sudden, when his power is like just a sliver of power left, and I've knocked him down like 3 times already, he just comes back and just whoops my ass, and I can't get back up. So, the game is terrible. It's awful. I've given it a good chance. I literally have given it every chance that it deserves, and it's terrible. It's just awful.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's not much else to say. I mean, the story about the game is more interesting than the game actually is. It's just one of those.
I know the Genesis version isn't half bad, but the Master System version is just, it's awful. I've never played Final Blow, and that's actually something and again, Final Blow might have been the working title that the Genesis version was. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway. No, wait. I got it backwards. Sorry, I'm reading it right now. I've got it backwards. Final Blow was the one that they rebranded as James Buster Douglas on the Genesis.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just impressed I remembered that much, but okay, yeah. Okay, it says right here, a Sega Master System game starring Douglas was also released in 1991, but was not based on Final Blow. It was instead a rehash of Rocky, sporting updated graphics and the choice of fighter selection. So yes, that's what it was. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself there. The Master System version is just it's a refresh of Rocky.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, yeah. So that's that. Thanks again for the call. We should probably actually go ahead and fire off our voicemail number. How's that sound? You got that handy?
Yeah, I do have that handy. So if anybody else wants to call, go ahead and do it. It's a voicemail. I'm not gonna answer. The number though is 678-995-5103. So call that. Leave us
voicemail, and we'll play it on the show, and we'll kind of talk it out. And there's always other areas you can get a hold of us, too. You can get a hold of us on Twitter, at Gaming Reset, and then also the YouTube channel, youtube.com/thegamingreset. And so that's the best way to get a hold of us. We don't have a giveaway this week, but when we do, interact with us, and we'll throw your name in a hat at some point and give some shit away. But again, one more time with the number, 678-995-5103. And we did get some topics, actually, via Twitter, too, tonight.
We did.
Yeah, I kind of put out a feeler, and I'm sorry I don't have it. I should have been a little more organized here, but we've been having some technical difficulties, so we're kind of jamming around here on and off. But
my router decided the thing is especially right when I bought my new PC and hooked everything up, my router took a crap on me. So there's no rest for me spending money this week. So I had to go out and buy a new router, and I think it just was pretty much took a crap on me a second ago until I had to reset it. So.
Yeah. So here was the I don't know if you heard about this, but Majora's Mask is getting remade for the 3DS. Yeah, for the 3DS. And this has been a common problem for Nintendo now with the Amiibos first and now Majora's Mask, is they've had limited pre-orders for these games, and retailers and I don't know, maybe Nintendo, I don't know really who's to blame here, maybe aren't limiting pre-orders and things like that. So Majora's Mask pre-orders are essentially sold out everywhere, and it's a bunch of, again, scalpers just going after Nintendo stuff, buying them all up, so the real fans haven't been able to get their hands on it. Now there's pre-sales and, reselling going on eBay for Majora's Mask, and I think this is a trend that's really, really, really disheartening.
But it's perpetuated by Nintendo as well. I mean, I like the idea, but
they're false. That false demand thing that they used to do that worked doesn't work anymore, because when you create a limited inventory to try to create demand, you're kind of fucking over the people that pay your bills, because now you're forcing those people to go through scalpers to be able to get what they want, and it's getting really old. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, what could they do on that? Put a limit per household or something? If they're going to do some kind of limited edition pre-order bullshit, they should probably put some kind of limit on it, right?
Well, I think they should do a couple things. Limit it, which kind of sucks. But second, I mean, people will find a way around it anyway. But at least put that limit up there anyway. And then secondly, don't make everything so limited anymore. I mean, we like collectibles as much as the next guy, but when things are becoming so limited and then available for pre-order to the point that so many people are grabbing them just to make a quick flip on eBay, it's getting exhausting. Or at least I don't know how. I mean, we kind of talked about this with the Amiibos. I don't have a solution on how you fix it other than offer up a ton of something. But it's like the Majora's Mask limited edition. I mean, it's a limited edition, so I don't know how you can't really have it both ways on something limited edition, because if there's a billion of them, how limited is it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it sucks. It sucks for people that miss out on it. I mean, it happened with Target and the Rosalina amiibo. They put it up. They didn't have a limit on it, so people were just like, I'll take 50 of them or whatever. And it's just, I haven't experienced it with anything other than the Nintendo products, and it's actually quite honestly just getting a little exhausting, and it's actually starting to turn me off a little bit. I've got all of the amiibos up to this point, or at least pre-ordered to this point, and the only one I wasn't able to get pre-ordered was the Rosalina one because of that. And I think the same thing is happening to people now with games and limited edition everything, and it's disappointing because there's so many fans of these products and they just can't get their hands on them unless they want to pay a huge markup on eBay. And for a lot of people, there's two things that pop up. A, of all, that might not be realistic, just because you don't want to spend $150 for something that should have cost $60. And then secondly, it's just the principle of like, no, fuck you guys. I'm not going to support this. I'm not going to support, flippers, and so
Well, it's just I get the flipping thing. Like, I get, like, wow, I'd like to make a quick buck. I get that, but
Right.
you don't fuck over the gamers. You're right. Don't fuck over the people that pay your bills, man. It's like the gamers are the ones that suffer here, you know? I get the quick flip thing. Sure. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
if I can make twice my money off of, like,
why not?
just squatting? Okay, sure, whatever, but don't make it so that your actual true fans are getting fucked over.
Yeah, and I mean, the other part is, too, I think here's where I would say there would be a happy medium, is, so Sony did this with their limited gray console. I didn't get one. And they didn't say where they were going to announce it. They fucking put a link on their Twitter page. Their site entirely crashed. Some people got through, some didn't. There's stuff like this Majora's Mask limited edition or the Rosalina amiibos. I mean, I think what needs to happen is, if you're going to do something limited edition, be clear about when it's going to be released and where and how you can pre-order. Instead of just pushing it out there, I think if it's going to be something that's going to be in demand like this, you should at least tell people up front, hey, if you want one of these, they are limited, really, and they're going on sale at midnight for pre-order at these locations. If you don't get one, we're sorry, but at least get ahead of it so the people that want one can at least make an attempt to get one. You know what I mean? Rather than just waking up. I mean, like the amiibo thing, I woke up, checked the internet, and all of a sudden it's like, Rosalina amiibos went on sale at 4:30 a.m. and sold out in 30 minutes. And I was like, well, that's fucking great. How would you
even know that? Like, was it just spontaneous or what?
Yeah, just a random kind of luck, I guess. And that's just the bullshit that I hate seeing. Like, if you're
how would you be in tune with that? Like, how the hell would you get in? Like, if they sold out right away or whatever, how does that even happen? How would you be in tune with that?
I have no idea. But that's the kind of shit that's irritating. Like, I'm okay with limited. I'm actually okay with the flipping to an extent, like you were saying. It's just, at least get out in front of it far enough so the people that are your fans and are going to want this thing have ample time to go. I mean, at least a week or something, just so people go, yup, I want that. I'm going to make every attempt to get signed in at midnight and get this thing pre-ordered. Or I'm going to go wait at, maybe GameStop's doing a pre-order launch or something. I mean, something like that. Excuse me, that you could, that you have your opportunity to get your hands on one. Because otherwise, it's just, I happen to be online. I happen to be on the store. They happen to just have put it live, and I just happen to be able to order one. Like, I don't know. I think the scalpers or the flippers, I think they're technically just like probably have a list of shit they know is going to go on demand, so they're just checking sites, checking stores, checking whatever they need to do, and it's like, boom, there they are. I'm going to buy a bunch of them. And right. It's disappointing because there's so much. It's just entertainment is expensive. Well, it's just shit is just expensive as it is, and it just sucks that people that want to collect these things have to pay more than retail. And especially when they're like, I didn't even know it was available for pre-order, and now they're gone, and now I have to pay $150 instead of $60.
Yeah. So one of the things is with Majora's Mask. Did you ever own that one, or do you currently own it?
I own the gold cart. I haven't. I actually haven't never played Majora's Mask, but I hear people. There's like a love-hate thing, I think, for most people.
It really is, man, because I've known a lot of people that love it, but I was a big fan of the Ocarina of Time when that first came out. I got it right away. I played through the entire thing. It really just looked like to me, and again, this might be blasphemous to some of you guys that really gave it a chance. I really didn't give it a chance. I did buy it when it came out. I was very excited about it. I just was completely underwhelmed. I felt like they just took the exact same engine, which they did, and just slapped a few extras in it and just, rerouted the storyline. I didn't feel like it was really that great of a game, but again, I didn't really give it a chance either. I'm really big into the Zelda games. I always have been, but that was one of the few that I really just never could get into. And maybe sometime if somebody's like, no, you got to go back and check it out. It's actually amazing or something. I'll go back and check it out. But for now, I mean, that's just I don't have good memories of it.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I'm
It's cool that they're making it for the 3DS. I think the 3DS is an awesome system, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna make every attempt to do as much gaming as I can this week, including retro. I've got I bought a new shelf now that I have some extra systems to hook up and things like that. So, you know, we've been going on the Master System thing for a while, which is awesome, and we'll keep doing that, keep getting those videos out there. But I want to jump back into some of the other systems too. So hopefully this week, maybe I'll throw in.
You still have Crisscross, that Crisscross game for Sega CD, right?
Yeah, we do. And you know what's funny is now, because I threw that webcam in for you too, we might have to do some sort of live stream where we're fucking both firing up a broadcast of Crisscross on Sega CD. I want to do a live Twitch stream of Crisscross's Make Your Own music video. That'd be hilarious.
I think that needs to happen.
And I might even, I'm not promising anything, but I may even wear all of my shit backwards while I play Crisscross.
If that's possible, yeah, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how they did it, man. Just magicians.
It's certainly possible.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for the topic on that, too. I mean, really good point. Really good point, Mike, as well on, and I get it. We don't want to come across as people that just are like bitch about stuff. But yeah, I'm sure everybody out there can feel us on that too. I mean, it is really kind of annoying. I get it. Again, I get the, the quick flip, make twice as much, just by squatting on something. Sure. Who wouldn't do that? But, the system, it seems like the system's broken when you can't simply, when gamers can't simply get a game that they want to get,
or a collectible or something that they want when it's down to the point.
It's like
where
they're trying to fast track it into like a Buster Douglas category or for a Master System. They're just trying to fast track it and be like, this is an instant, like we're gonna inflated price, whatever.
Yeah, it's an instant collectible, and then certainly some things can fall into that category. I don't have a problem with that, but it's still like give people some sort of notice when they're going to be able to get their hands on these things. And I know some of that's up to the retailers too. And so I don't know how Nintendo can dictate it, or if it's like they work with the retailers to be like, hey, this cannot go on for pre-order. I mean, that's kind of the thing with pre-orders is everything has a street date now. Usually Nintendo does a lot of Friday launches. Other places are doing, Tuesday launches, but opening at midnight for games. It almost feels like these pre-orders need to have some sort of hard street date kind of launch where it's like, all right, if you want to take pre-orders for Amiibos or for games or for any... It's tough because it's like I just don't know how you dictate it with a retailer, but you say pre-orders can't open until, January 11th at midnight. And then you're like, all right, well, I know, so I'm going to give that a go,
So on the a quick side note, while I think of it here as well, I saw an article within the last couple of weeks about the Toys R Us canceling your pre-order again.
Yes.
What's the scoop on that?
So Toys R Us did cancel my pre-order again
for Amiibo. Like which one?
So here, just a quick run through of the scenario. I ordered a Lucario, which is the Toys R Us exclusive. That got canceled. Then they emailed me and said, "Go ahead and reorder. We're gonna let you reorder it, and here's a one-time use coupon." But not only that. They that one-use coupon actually allowed me to pre-order some of the other Amiibos. I thought, well, I'm just going to be able to pre-order Lucario, but the email said, "Go, you have that. You can order whatever the hell you want." So I thought, well, I'm going to reorder a couple others that I didn't have, which was the Pit and the Captain Falcon at the time, and I did end up finding both a Pit and a Captain Falcon because I had them pre-ordered through GameStop, and there was a kerfuffle at GameStop that I'm not going to get into tonight. But then I get another cancellation from Toys R Us that says, your order's been canceled again. I'm like, you can't make it up, right? And so I tweeted Toys R Us, and then I wrote another article about it on our site. It got picked up on a lot of Nintendo sites, and some of the other larger sites picked up on the Toys R Us kind of ridiculousness.
And then a few days, I was just like, fuck it, I give up. And then a couple days after that, Toys R Us emailed me and said, hey, we're sorry about your recent cancellation. Just kidding. We're gonna ship you your order for free. And I don't know if I even trust it. I'm just like, all right, I will believe it when I see it. But
what could possibly be happening at Toys R Us headquarters? What are they doing?
I have no idea, and I don't know if it's just a stock. I have no idea.
Is it like a stunt or something?
I don't know if they've oversold their allotment, and then like maybe Nintendo's doing them a solid, and like, all right, we'll redirect some shipments from Nintendo stores or something to them. I have no fucking clue. But
that doesn't sound like something Nintendo would likely do nowadays.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It sounds ridiculous. I mean, it's not Nintendo's fault that Toys R Us can't keep its fucking inventory management straight.
Maybe it is, though.
Well, I guess you don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. It says they're scheduled to arrive this week, but I don't have a tracking number or anything on it. It just ETA'd me. So we'll see what happens. I found both of those, so it's not a big deal. I'm not going to get two of the set. The reason that I always order two is not because... Actually, I'll just get to the Toys R the GameStop thing. Not because I'm going to flip any of them, but mostly because you never know what condition these boxes are going to come in. And if I'm not opening my Amiibos, it's a collectible for me. I have them on the shelf. And it just bothers me if I get one that's in a shitty packaging. And so GameStop, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the podcasts, but I went to pick up my pre-order pit at GameStop, and they opening the shipping box, they had sliced right through the packaging for my pit amiibo. And I was just like, what the F, man? So
yeah, and then hilariousness ensued.
Yeah, well,
for me.
Yeah, and then
I'm just kidding.
Then,
it was annoying.
I went on a tweet rampage trying to figure out what the fuck to do, and then I went to the GameStop that sold it to me was of no help, but there's a GameStop closer to me that I stopped up at, and they have the people that work there are actually really awesome. And I forgot the girl's name that works there, but she called around and finally found one that was like a 40-minute drive, but they held it for me, and I had to drive out to swap it out, but I did get a pit that was in good condition. So I guess they made good on it, but it's just like, I guess it's an honest mistake. You're slicing open a shipping box, and you slice through too far, and you slice open the back of the thing, and I don't, it is what it is. Anytime I guess you're cutting with knives, it's like, I don't know if they don't know what's in it or what the deal is, but you'd think if you're slicing through something that cardboard is in something of value, that you wouldn't want to, go all bonkers with the blade. But whatever, I got what I wanted. So,
well, this whole conversation has put me in conspiracy theory mode here. No, not really, but just food for thought. I mean, speaking of console wars,
yeah.
Yeah, of course. This is some stunts that Nintendo would pull. Like, this sounds like something... I mean, this isn't the Nintendo of now is not the Nintendo of old. Where, just to recap, and of course we've talked about this before, but Nintendo was ruthless back in the day. They would do anything to squash anyone. They would... I think there were some antitrust lawsuits against them or something at one point as well, where because basically if they would just tell their retailers like Walmart or whoever, like, look, if you carry Sega or if you carry anybody else, we will stop shipping stuff to you, or we'll cut your shipment to whatever. This sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like something the old Nintendo would do, at least. So I don't know, food for thought. Who knows? Yeah. As far as the Toys R Us stuff, they could just be fucking with Toys R Us as well. And, with all these instant classics that they're trying to make, or instant collectibles. I don't know. Maybe that's their marketing strategy now. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it that far-fetched? I don't know.
I don't think so. You just never know with you never know with whatever Nintendo's trying to do. So
they're just basically probably thinking, our sales still aren't where we want them to be. What could we do? Well, let's do this Amiibos thing. But when we do it, we're gonna make everything super scarce. It's like, Tickle Me Elmo or whatever, And they're probably trying to ride that wave and sustain it as long as they can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. We'll only time will tell if I actually get my seconds. But, yeah, I mean, I think that, there's limited quantity. And Nintendo came out early and said some of these are going to be available in limited quantity, which they don't do often. So they did come out and say that. But, you know, I don't think people anticipated that limited quantity meant pre-orders were going to sell out. Like, what the, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, how does that even happen?
Like, that's, I think, like, what isn't the point of a pre-order so you can get it by pre-ordering? Like, I know that essentially they only want to allot so much to something that's limited, but, like, fuck, I mean, that just sucks.
It's good and it's bad. I mean, it's good and it's bad. I understand both sides of it. I mean, you've got them all, right?
Yeah, I do. So other than the Target exclusive, that Rosalina Target exclusive, but I'll track that down and
you'll overpay for it.
I mean, I'll overpay for that one since it's the last one I have if I have to. I will go on the hunt for that one though, just because that's kind of part of the fun. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it feasible? Could you actually like find it somewhere?
Well, I mean, it comes out February 1st, so I assume I'll hit up some Targets February 1st. But the other thing with these Amiibos...
So it actually will be in stores. It's not pre-order only?
Yeah, it sounds like they're probably holding stock for some stores. So, but it'll probably be one of those things, day one, it's gone and out, and that's it. I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be some stock in store. I don't know, but I'll at least go try to track it down, but whatever, I guess, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, either that or just have to overpay for it.
Yep.
That would be funny if they completely stocked up Targets with them and they're completely super common.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me either, actually.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're just fucking with you 24/7. So they really, I mean, you're you know, in front of you know, they're people are thinking about them. I mean, they've become part of a conversation, you know, time and time again. So, you know, clearly Nintendo's marketing division is actually doing something right. So
for once,
recently we can say for once. So anyway, it's all worth talking about though. Again, thanks for the topics. Thanks for the call. Anytime you want, why don't you go ahead and fire off that phone number one more time, Mike?
Yep, 678-995-5103. And I will put that in the show notes so you have it there. And we love phone calls.
So, yeah, absolutely. And so this, I guess this pretty much wraps up part one of our two-part podcast for episode 34. Mm-hmm. Is that right, Mike? Do you got anything to add for today's conversation?
Nope. Just wanted to mention that we will have a part two where we'll try to connect with a Mr. Mike Miller who wrote that Destiny article, and we'll do a part two where we go a little more into the modern, a little more into Destiny, and his thoughts behind that article, and then maybe get his thoughts on some of the pre-orders and some other things too, because he has a PS4 and has been playing a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition, so it'll be interesting to get some takes on that. So we'll have a part two that will have some of the modern stuff. And moving forward, if Mike can't join this podcast, we'll try to get him in every now and then, but I might do some modern talk, some modern discussion with him, and either append it to our conversations or do like a part one, part two, just more content for the site. And if you haven't read the Destiny article, go check that out. And moving forward for the next week, hoping to get the Dick Tracy video up there. I know you're talking about doing the Dead Angle. You've got the Tron video coming. So yeah, we should have a bunch of content this week. So it's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah! Well, that wraps it up for this week. So with that, this is Mitch.
And this is Mike.
We'll catch you next time.
Sunrise warning light, the guys of shadows flight, moon creeps out of sight, the street lights dim at night. There's a way this city dies.